And then, we were going to take a break, and we didn't know what the future again for us was. And then we move on to the 2 out of 3 falls match from Death Before Dishonor in June. I believe it was June or July, maybe it was July. And, we didn't, I told you this before, but we didn't want to go into a rematch that soon, because we didn't want to cheapen what we had just done at Supercard of Honor. But Tony wanted this match, and he believed in this match, and he wanted the 2 out of 3 fall stipulation. And
one might say he needed this match too.
Yeah, I think
from my
so.
viewpoint.
And honestly, that's what I told him when he texted me that. He said, honestly, to be honest, Tony said, would you guys, I know you don't want to do it, but would you mind doing this match? And I said, Tony, I was thinking about it the other day, and I think this pay-per-view needs the match. And I don't say that with any egotism. I say that, as a fan looking from the outside in, I think this pay-per-view needs that match. And so the match went 43 minutes or something. And it was a beautiful piece of art. And it was something that hasn't been done in wrestling in a long time, man. I feel we started off slow, and we built the drama. We built it with every fall, but also with every change in drama and twist and turn in the story. And the first match we had, Cash and I were presented as the bad guys, as the heels. The second match we come in and we're almost equals, and so the 4 of us, we have to toe a careful line, because the fans have love for both teams. And so we have to structure this match really, really, really smartly, because if one of us leans too much into being a heel, then we might lose them, because the fans didn't want to boo either one of the teams. So if one of us leaned too much into being a heel, they would not buy into the match. We just had to be us. The 4 of us had to be us. And I'm so proud of that match, but we were all so nervous. And again, we'll go into a deep dive of this match later, but I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for this, and I don't think I'm going to get anybody else in trouble for this.
That's my favorite way you start sentences. By
yeah,
the way.
we'll see.
My favorite.
But surprisingly, that day, I had brought Clase Azul for the 4 of us to have afterwards, to celebrate afterwards, to celebrate the Supercard of Honor match, to celebrate how the pay-per-view buys that Tony had already told us were the pre-sale buys, but also to celebrate what I thought was going to be another great match to both of our legacies.
But it's also how you, I think, I'm pretty sure about this. I think that's how you show your appreciation and love for people, like buying them a drink or breaking out a bottle, fellowshipping them with a little bit of tequila. I think that's kind of the Dax Harwood I love you.
Absolutely. And not just alcohol in general. That's my, I guess, love language, I guess is what they call it, where I love
look at you. Yeah.
Buying people things. Like I'm not this super, I'm not big on showing emotion, and I've tried to get better at that with my wife over the last decade or so, because there was a time when we first started dating, I tried to be this, this stand up, chest out kind of man where I didn't show emotion because I had to be the man for the woman. And I realized, like, that's not what she wants. I don't even know if that's what any woman wants. You know what I mean? I think they want a man who's going to be emotional and show them emotion, just like they want to show us emotion, and want us to be a real human being. So I'm still struggling with that, or still working on that. But I love buying people things. That's how I think I can make them happy. But yes, the camaraderie, bringing a bottle of whatever, and that's just how that's how I do it. Anyway, so before the match, we were all like scrambling our brains because we were worried, like, what if we don't deliver this time? Like, what if we don't match up what we did before? What if we don't come close to matching up? Right. That could be the end of our careers. And we were all so worried. And I said, this was, a couple of hours before showtime. And I said, hey, would you guys, you want to take a shot before the match, and maybe it'll loosen us up and get our, our creative juices flowing. And they're like, fuck yeah. The Mark and Jay, fuck yeah. They were waiting for me to say that, And I think as wrestlers, because I've never, ever, besides that one time, I've never, ever had a drink before a match, because you don't want to go in there and or hurt your opponent or mess up or
there's a lot
whatever.
of reasons why not to.
Yes.
It sends a bad message. It looks unprofessional, all that kind of crap too. Yeah.
But the four of us were under the impression that we needed it, and we all had it, and we had the shot, and then we started talking and started feeling good. And then Jay says, hey, what about what if we take one more of those? And they had never had Class A either, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So we took another
giving
one.
Someone one shot of Class A, that is not cool. You got to follow it up, right?
Going. So yeah, let's do it. So the four of us take another drink, and and we're sipping on it. We're putting together this what we think is this great match. We're laughing and having fun, and then someone speaks up and says, well, let's do one more, just one more. We got 45 minutes to go tonight. We got to do one more. So we did another one. And by the time I realized that we had drank half the bottle of Class A before the match. And we, more than putting the match together, we were just having fun and talking about our family and our families and, telling stories, and then we'd go back to the match, and then we'd get out of it and start laughing again and having fun. And when we go into a deep dive, I'll tell you more about the inner workings of the match.
Anybody come close to catching you drinking that day?
Oh, well, I don't want to put any names out there because I don't want to get them in trouble. But yeah, I mean, yes. But that person understood. The four of us trusted each other enough that we knew nothing was going to happen, and we could stop ourselves.
Yeah, I just love the picture of you guys just sneaking drinks and the vice principal walking in. And you're like, we're good. Everything's fine.
Yeah. And so, going out to the match, we're walking to the curtain right before our music hits, and we're still putting stuff together, dude. It was so crazy. But then we go on to have what I perceived to be another classic and another match that I loved. And at that point, it was my favorite match I'd ever had.